Hello and welcome! Over the next few minutes, I'm going to rip through some pretty awesome things you probably don't already know. Or maybe you do. Either way, I hope you find this entertaining. Let's roll. Are you a Mexican food foodie like I am? How about this? The Aztecs invented guacamole from mashed avocados, which was originally called ahuacamole. This word is a combination of the Nahuatl words ajucatl, or avocado, and mole, or sauce. Today, guacamole is a popular dish in Mexico and around the world, with variations in ingredients and preparation. We think of daisies as single flowers, don't we? Well, they're not. Daisies are quite actually composite flowers, meaning what appears as a single flower is a cluster of many tiny individual flowers called florets, with the outer petals being ray florets and the inner disc being disc florets. Other composite flowers include sunflowers, dandelions, and asters. The name daisy, by the way, comes from the Old English word day's eg, which means day's eye. The ancient Greek philosopher Democritus proposed that all matter is made up of tiny, indivisible particles called atomos, which means uncuttable in Greek, forming the basis of early atomic theory. While Democritus's ideas were groundbreaking, they were not universally accepted at the time. Aristotle, for example, disagreed with the concept of atoms and instead proposed that matter was made of 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. All right, that's enough of that. Next. How's this for a little motivation? Did you know that dairy cows can typically produce between 6 to 8 gallons of milk per day? Or, to put it in edible terms, that's around 5 pounds of butter, 8 gallons of ice cream, or 10 pounds of cheese. Yeah, I'd say that's a lot. How are all the different sounds of an orchestra produced anyway? Here's a short walkthrough. A typical symphony orchestra is divided into 4 families of instruments: strings, woodwinds, brass, and percussion. String instruments like violins, violas, cellos, and double basses produce sound through vibrating strings and are played with a bow or plucked. Woodwind instruments like flutes, oboes, clarinets, and bassoons produce sound by blowing air through a tube. Brass instruments such as trumpets, French horns, trombones, and tubas produce sound when a musician buzzes their lips into a mouthpiece. And percussion instruments like timpani, snare drums, bass drums, cymbals, and xylophones produce sound by striking, shaking, or scraping the instrument. How's that for a quick tour of the orchestra? The aurora borealis, commonly known as the northern lights, is a stunning display of light that appears in the sky, often as curtains, rays, or spirals of color. It is caused by magnetic storms in Earth's atmosphere, which are triggered by solar activity like solar flares and coronal mass ejections, sending charged particles towards Earth that interact with the atmosphere to create the visible light show. Some of the best places to see the aurora borealis include Alaska, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Greenland.
The popular musician David Bowie had 2 different colored eyes, a condition known as heterochromia. This was caused by a fight in his youth, which left one pupil permanently dilated. During the Victorian era, in the 19th century, women wore tightly laced corsets to achieve a slender hourglass figure. However, doing so often led to health issues like fainting spells, digestive problems, and even organ damage. The first commercial music compact disc pressed in the United States was Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA in 1984. This marked the beginning of the CD era in music. Early fitness trackers like the Fitbit and others were inspired by pedometers, devices that date back to Leonardo da Vinci, who sketched an early version to measure Roman soldiers' steps. Martin Luther King Jr.'s iconic "I Have a Dream" speech was not initially intended to include the famous "I Have a Dream" refrain. He improvised it on the spot, inspired by gospel singer Mahalia Jackson's encouragement to tell them about the dream. The reason men's and women's shirts button on opposite sides is historical. For men, buttons were placed for ease of access to their right hand in combat or riding, while for women, it was to make it easier for maids to dress them. How about that? So what did you think? Comment below and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, mate.